Everyone in the shout box can't see it, but Sonia and Gammer are recording us because we look so good.
It's like watching JLS or something.
We are the vampires.
It would only be right on a hardcore takeover to get the #1 hardcore DJ in the world. His head's getting bigger and bigger as I'm speaking. He's going bright red like mine. Gammer, what's happening, sir?
Hello, how you doing? You all right?
Yeah, very good, mate. Honour, privilege, pleasure to have you up here, because I remember you when you was coming up, 8-10 years ago, and you was just like a young raver going to all the raves, getting...
As a little boy.
Yeah. And now look at you. You are #1.
I'm a man.
You're a man.
I'm a man.
From a boy to a man. Now, what was your introduction to hardcore?
My introduction to hardcore? God, I must have been about 11 years old.
Yeah.
I was at my dad's house and I was in my stepbrother's room for some reason, and I found a little tape on the floor, and it was Hardcore Heaven, one of the old events, and it was mixed by Druid. And put it in, and I remember the very first tune that came on was Dougal's Steam Train.
Yeah.
And it's just, well, we all say it's one of those things. I heard it and I just went, this
blew
is
you
amazing.
away. And how did the partnership come between you and Dougal?
This is an even more random story.
Right, go on.
Well, I've grown up a bit by this point, but my little brother came back from his dad's house, and he gave me this yellow Bunters CD, and he just was pointing at going, "That's Dougal," and I didn't. At this point, I didn't actually know who he was. He's going, "That's Dougal." Who's Dougal? Anyway, I'm listening to this CD and I'm getting more and more into it, and more into it, and more into it. And one day we're all sitting at dinner, and stepbrother was talking about how I was at his dad's house. My mum turned around and went, "Oh yeah, how is Dougal?" And I was like, "You know Dougal?"
Yeah.
Yeah. So how do you know Dougal? Well, the guy who works with him, who was TKM and Innovate at the time, she's like, "Oh, I'm his cleaning lady."
Right, okay.
And that was it. They hooked me up. I went in. I sat in the studio. I didn't actually say anything the whole day I was there. I just sort of watched them work, and then later down the line I was sort of messing about on some software, writing some music. It all got round to Dougal, and the next thing I know, I come downstairs and he's standing in my kitchen going, "Let's write some tunes together and see what happens." And it just literally went from there.
And your first gig, your first major gig?
Oh, my first major gig, that was God, that was Uproar, the big one at Sanctuary.
Okay.
Yeah, someone never turned up, and Seduction turned around and said, "Right, you can open the main room at Sanctuary."
Wicked.
Which is nerve-wracking. Very nerve-wracking.
I always find that a lot of DJs are in the mode of playing records from beginning to end, like all 5 minutes. And whenever I've watched you, if you've been on before or after me, you get in, you think about it, and you create, just like you create your tunes. You structure a set and you bang the record as top drum and bass DJs do, or hip hop DJs. You're creative with it, and I think that's one of your attributes that have made you stand out. To that. So, what kind of preparation do you put into your sets?
Well, if it's sort of the smaller events, the crowds are always brilliant. It's just kind of play whatever takes me kind of thing. If it's the bigger events, typically me and Gordon are on together, we'll arrange some sort of intro, we'll send some vocals, we'll do something. I might have the first tune and the first mix planned. I might have a sort of idea of my last tune, and usually I'll just sit at home with all my CDs and I'll just try mixing lots of random tunes in completely random places to see if either it works or it doesn't. Sometimes I might have to edit certain tunes, have them drop out to the vocal or something. It's always something I leave to the last minute. You can guarantee that the day of the gig, I'm in my studio sweating, running about, shaking.
Yeah, putting it all together. Because I love that thing that you slam records in like a minute or two. That's what I do. I'm obsessed with, like, there's so much music I want to play and so much energy. And whenever I've seen you, that's what you're doing.
And YouTube started blowing up, and I was just looking at DJ videos online, and I was looking at DJs like Kutski and James Abila, who's like a massive technical DJ in the house scene. And even when I started working with Andy, I saw Andy Whitley, I saw what he was doing, and I thought, I've got this great opportunity. I love DJing. I've got this great opportunity where I'm playing every weekend, and wouldn't it be great just to bring something different to the way hardcore DJs mix? So it took a while to sink in, but I gave it a go. And
it's worked, isn't it? It's made you stand out.
I went to the length of buying all the CDJs again and buying a mixer and setting my decks back up and going back to practicing. Yeah. Some of the people told me I was crazy. They were like, "Just burn your CDs and play them at the weekend." And I was like, "No, I just want to try it." Yeah, and it's brought back the excitement of DJing.
Yeah, wicked. I've got to ask, what's it like working with Dougal?
Working with Dougal.
Yeah. be as brutal as you want. I'm sure he won't mind, and he'll actually enjoy
he's
it.
definitely great to work with. He does everything I can't do, and I do everything he can't do.
Yeah.
But he's just a character.
Yeah.
He's just a character.
Because I think people don't give Dougal... We all know, and Dougal's up there, but I think without Dougal, hardcore probably wouldn't be where
I don't
it is
think
now.
he gets enough credit. I mean, when it comes to my own stuff, I feel I'm sort of okay at kind of the riffy stuff, and maybe the minimal one solid bass note and a kick drum.
Yeah.
But half the time I'll sit there and I'll make a noise and I'll go, right, I don't know what to do with this.
Yeah.
Whereas I'm with Paul, I'll make a noise and he'll go, let's randomly try this. And at first I'll always go, no. But then it always ends up being the thing that makes it. He's got great vision.
I think Paul is like really musical. He's got a great vision for hook. Like if I go back to, he had a record, I think it was his first tune, Heaven Awaits, which was Dougal and Evolution. Even then, in amongst the late 92 music, he had real melody in what he was doing, which really stood out. And he kept that throughout every year. And I also think he played a big part in moving what was happy hardcore into a big place and and people just don't give him the credit for that. So should we go in the mix all the way till 3? Show London, the UK and the world. I'm sure we've got loads of people from all over the world in the shout box and on the Facebook.
Hello world.
It's only right now we go in the mix, full on hour and a half onslaught. The world famous Wizard and the world famous Gams are going to mix hardcore, Kool London, Music Mondays, hardcore takeover. Over to the Wizard, world famous son.
Who is he? I've never heard of him. Anyway, this is how we're rolling. We're taking you into the hardcore star. DJ Gammer stepping up. What a wicked interview. Wasn't that enjoyable? Yeah, man. That's why he's a legend. Trust.